Welcome to Altero, a world filled with romance,
seduction,
danger,
oh no, watch out,
intrigue,
ooh, what's that about?
night creatures,
Ow.
secrets,
Shh, I'll never tell.
and of course, food.
Yummy.
So join us in Altero for Eat, Slay, Love.
Eat, slay, love.
Hello, everyone! What? Welcome to episode 26 of Eat, Slay, Love. This is our homebrew D&D 5e adventure in the world of Altero. And today is a very special interlude with our guests, Em and Jeff.
Hello.
Hey.
Of course, we want to start today by acknowledging that we are telling stories on the traditional territories of the Musqueam people. We want to acknowledge the privilege that it is to work, play, and create on these beautiful lands. Go to native-land.ca to find out more. Find out about the world you're in. It's very important. Do some research. Be a part of the process. Do you guys want to tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and we're going to remind ourselves of where the heck we were when we saw you last?
Yeah, amazing.
Take it away, Em.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Em. I use fair pronouns. I am the creative director of Blackwater D&D, and goodness heck, I love my little mangy, yucky baby Orellani. Orellani is a red Vulpe Circle of Spores druid, uses they, she, V pronouns, and by goodness, is so mad right now. Is so mad and so upset that someone would be so awful to her wonderful traveling companion, Lyra. Usually doesn't make connections with other people, but feels a small level of affinity for this little burb. Yeah, Paladin sucks,
So hard.
and I want him dead. So, if you're, you probably know us from Blackwater D&D. We are found at Blackwater D&D across all the socials and film our main campaign Monday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/BlackwaterD&D. So come hang out with us. We do a main 5e campaign. We also have our new podcast series, God Killer, which is out right now. Yeah, thank you so much. You can find it over at our Patreon, which is patreon.com/BlackwaterD&D. So thank you.
Hello, I am Jess. I also play with Blackwater,
Yay.
which is super fun, and I'm so excited to be back here as well. Oh my gosh. And I play Lyra, who is just cute little bird person. She's very sweet, and yeah.
Someone did a wrong.
She's a little fucked up, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Coming into the top of this episode feeling not so good.
That's the thing is, if you haven't followed the early episodes, Orellani and Lyra were with us for the first 6 episodes of the campaign, where we hit the ground running with all sorts of shenanigans, werewolves, mushrooms, some unusual creatures that were connected with you in the very beginning. Charkus Sage, we remember, who exploded in this like yellow grossness, but it was familiar to you. Oh, and then we also got all the way to finally meeting this character who might be behind some sort of illegal, but beyond that, completely wrong activity. And they were going to sacrifice some were creatures that were new and different. And although you weren't able to stop him directly in that moment as Paladin escaped, you did
I did.
do a bit, do a thing.
I sure did.
You sure did, because you found a little bomb.
I did. But I like that very much.
I like that bomb.
I like that bomb. What that bomb do?
And it was
I like the way that bomb go boom.
mental bomb.
Yes.
And then because it was something you attuned to, it was connected to your nature.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's
And then I put it inside a person.
you did.
I
and
did.
then you sewed it up.
Just
Just a little.
you put the package back together. I gift wrapped it for everybody.
The package? A guy.
Yeah, the package was a person. I'm sorry.
A piece of shit person, though.
Yeah, awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, really bad.
Well,
Yeah.
pieces at this point.
Well,
Yes.
not anymore, right?
But there were
There's
such beautiful flowers afterwards.
The whole Opal Forest section in the radius of this bomb is completely transformed into this thorn brackish, full of an explosion.
flowers.
Yeah, well,
You know
it's
what?
beautiful to some.
Absolutely, they're stunning to me, and they drip a wonderful type of poison that smells so good. So,
Well,
it's fine. Yucky baby's back.
Yucky baby is back. And in that same moment, as you were busy causing what is an alarming world-changing event.
Yes, thank you.
To convert a land into what is beautiful to Orellani and her goddess. You were leaving something of you behind in that moment. Because Paladin had arrived and had cast a terrible spell on another wizard that he'd connected with before, that you'd left something with. And Georgette, who ran the shop in the city, that you'd left an earring with. He returned with her ashes and your earring.
Yep, Lyra felt that.
And you left behind a couple of items with the other players that you'd met.
Yep.
The other adventurers that you'd connected with. But your goddess had arrived.
She sure did.
And as we go back to this moment, she has pulled the two of you through what you'd expected to be a tree stride. A moment where you would connect with, anticipating to step forward with Lyra onto the other side into another part of this plane. Some sort of vegetation would be on the other side that you had moved through. But instead, the two of you step forward into dark, swirling shadow. And you would know this as the Shadow Realm. There is a movement here of energies, darkness, sometimes the dead. It can exist at the same time as the world around you, in the same place, but they occupies a different reality. But you are not where you might expect to be if you had just moved into the Shadow Realm and stayed in the forest, but been in this other reality. Instead, you are somewhere else, and it feels like a dark corridor. And you watch as in front of you, the goddess takes shape. Something that you've seen before, but mostly in your mind's eye an imagination of what she looks like from drawings and tellings and the little pieces that she'd given to you before. And so a foot forms, a long, delicate foot that is so wrapped in leaves, vines, covered in thorns, and it takes a step and it's this sticky sweet, the same poison that flows from you across your chest, left behind in her footprint. And the rest of the body forms of this 8-foot-tall femme, and she's got huge flowers throughout her hair. It's hard to tell what of her is made of plant and what of her is made of other being. And she has beautiful soft skin, but that is also glistening, as though any beads of her sweat are that same sticky yellow substance. And it seems to coat the tips of her long lashes as they make little beads. And she has a cloak on that you've never really seen her with before. It's unusual for her to ever hide herself this way. And it seems tattered and torn and gray and isn't the vibrant colors you know of her. The oranges, the reds, the luscious greens, the deep browns. She's wearing this ashen gray cloak over top of her, and she told you that she needed your help. And she turns around and her eyes are the most brilliant yellow, and she looks down at the two of you, so much taller than you. I need you both. Orellani.
Anything you want?
They've taken so much from me, but we must hide from them now, or they will know.
You've never hidden before. Why now?
To take something back. And she takes a step forward, and she starts to drop this cloak, and it turns to ash as she removes it and falls to the floor around you. And you expect that what should explode from her back are these like lionfish spines that you know of her. Usually it unfolds in a huge explosion, like a set of twinkling fairy wings, but that like drip again with her poisonous, toxic, beautiful, sticky energy. And instead she turns her back to you, and all of those spines are ripped and torn from her. And she is missing all of these spiky pieces.
I think in that moment, like, Orellani, like, arcs up. Like, who did this to you? Who? Tell me. Please.
There is a new god who challenges me.
Not for long.
We will stop him. My own Paladin. Oath breaks. Betrays me. They took me. Orellani, I know you have missed me, but it was not by choice that I did not come to you, as I have been captive.
Who is this Paladin? Give me a name.
She is the Gracethorn.
Gracethorn?
The Gracethorn. And she worships now the other.
Who is this other god?
Ascended human. He says progress. I see pollution. He says industry. I see corruption. And added to the Altero pantheon, we meet the description of a new god.
Ooh, exciting.
Zurge, the lawful evil god of the domain Zeal. An ascended human god of progress and industry. The surge of forward technology with consequence. You'll see his symbol, a hammer over the mountain. And you have seen, I'm sure, the mines that you passed.
That is him.
Corrupting humans. They could do this still. They could be a part of the world. But some of them will take. And her back shakes with the broken spines.
They don't see how beautiful you are. I will make them see.
We will do this. We will take something else from him.
Pollution?
Pollution.
The mines.
The mines. Lyra,
Poison?
your cursed friend has something we need. She continues to walk you through now this maze of hidden corners, smaller, thinner alleys, and spaces. And it's as though you might be moving through towns and spaces, but warped reality.
I think if she's walking, and especially if she's leaving any of the poison behind in her footsteps, Orellani puts their feet in those steps to follow behind her and ensure that nothing is missed and that everything is appreciated. That if there are people out there in the world who would seek to harm her and hurt her and break her, I want her to know that there is somebody behind her.
Lyra dances around the poison.
And I think I drag my claws in it on the ground, and I would scoop some up and coat my scimitar with it, making sure I could take some of this very concentrated deific poison with me.
Amazing. And you can add some to your inventory.
Yes! Poison from a god.
Her poison will not, if you coat something with it, it doesn't decay over time.
Oh, we love that.
So it is there until it is absorbed by another body.
Okay. Yeah.
Cursed friend.
Cursed friend.
Not friends exactly.
I will, for the cost of the object you carry, tell you what I can.
You can.
I must leave you here briefly and look forward through both space and time to know when it is right. I will be back. It will feel like mere hours, but I do not know how long it will be truly. Rest here. Rest.
I think I reach my hand up towards her. Just as a not. I was thinking I would never assume to think that I could touch her if she didn't want that. But knowing that I do want it. I miss her touch. I miss that relationship, that bond with her, but never would seek to assume that she would miss that from me as well.
You put out a hand, and she leans her whole form down. This mass of a human presence that is many times your size, and she leans gently into your hand against her face.
It's the best thing ever. It's the best.
Lyra watches and with her head cocked to the side and kind of moves her head in the same way that she's watching this person move.
And your hand stays still, but she, as she gets up, lets it just gently caresses the side down her neck. And just gently ruffles a bit of a thorny vine, and you feel it pull at your skin and tear a little bit.
Brilliant.
As it rips through you. And she gets up again. I will be back. And you just see her move through the shadows and disappear to you. But she leaves you in a space now that is, as you look around, you are in a Shadow Realm version of a safe room. So everything is dark and gray and the shadows swirl around you still, but you seem to be tucked away into a space, but outside of the main, what would be a realm. If a human entered, they wouldn't see you.
Okay.
If someone else occupied this space.
Like an echo space.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
They wouldn't see you. So you are hidden and safe. And she was trying to reassure you that you're tucked away, but you roll history for me, both of you, so I can tell you you have a handle on what else might be out here.
15.
17.
Different reasons that you would be familiar with it or know it. You would have experienced it through druid connections to what is the cycle of nature, and that there are other things that exist. There are monsters, but Orellani wouldn't categorize them that way, but that would start here, live here, but also move back and forth.
Right.
It's normal for there to be things in all sorts of places, and some of them are strange and scary to people unfamiliar, but you wouldn't be afraid necessarily.
Okay.
And for yourself, it's unclear to you exactly why you feel a connection to this space. You think that although you know something about this realm, that things can move through here, especially the dead, the connection you feel is as though you've fallen through this space before. Like you've fallen through memories, and you have that moment that comes to you all the time, and so you feel like you've fallen through here too. But what would that mean? You don't know.
I think I would seeing her leave. I just kind of sit down for a moment and gather myself. And I pull out the earring.
Lyra rushes to it with she looks like a wreck, but she just rushes to it with almost a last bit of strength, and grabs it out of your hand.
I grabbed it on my way out.
Yes. Thank you.
Of course.
Yes. I needed this. We here?
I'm not sure. The Eureka moves in whatever way she deigns to move, and that is her choice. Know that I won't stop until Paladin pays for what he did.
Yes. Eureka moves. Won't stop. Safe. Yes?
For now.
Thank you.
Don't thank me yet. I make no promises. I don't know what this is. She comes and she does whatever she can and then she leaves. It is not the greatest of relationships, but I take what I can get.
Poison. Yes?
More than just a physical poison, yes.
In the mind. Safe? For
Yes.
Orellani?
It doesn't matter. It's okay.
No. It doesn't matter, no.
I learned a long time ago that in this world, you take what you can and you give nothing back. You regret nothing, you owe nothing to no one.
Yes. You owe nothing to no one. Yes. Lyra, same.
Good. So, we find this Gracethorn who hurt her. We make them pay,
Paladin.
and then we make Paladin pay.
Yes.
What do you
Both.
know? Go ahead.
Both.
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 Both. What do you know anything about these mines?
Mine's pollution. Yes. Yes.
And Lyra would, carefully taking the earring back into one other hand, not letting go of it, she would reach into her bag and pull out this and hand it over to you.
I have a copy here too.
And it's it was from what we found inside the house when Onovan and I were in there.
So I would know that. So I had to move from my homeland in Adarjan because of this corruption, like seeping through the land and this deforestation
Yes.
and like the swamps and of the like the murk and the bog and the places that my family and my people were from were just ripped apart. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there was like this toxic scourge. It looked like a natural like a mining collapse or a mining like the ground was red, seeped with poisonous water, but not the good kind of poison, and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like an acid rain looking drainage problem, and it would have been exactly like you're saying, a mine accident. And so chemicals that were being used or other things that were attempted. And it also that the way that they were excavating from the land was also causing it to just pour the rock and everything they brought up out of the earth and just pouring it into the space that would have been the swamp that you were from.
Okay.
So some of the mine people that you would have remembered from those times, some of those names are familiar to you, at least this mining consortium of people across the countries. And so this is many countries, which is an interesting revelation across it.
And there's some big amounts of coin being thrown around here.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got 10,900, 5,600,
62,000.
75,000.
Yep.
Any of these names or any of these locations, does anything sound familiar for when we were fleeing?
So the Greenwilds Railco was familiar. Once you got farther into Orellana, that's where the trains are more prevalent and expanding. So making way for trains, which fun, exciting. But at what pace do they move?
And at what cost to the land? Okay.
And then the one that stands out to both of you is the Fenman Forestry Co. So this would have been such an affront to you that they would use a forest in the name of a company getting rid of your swamp and the forest lands around you.
So I can assume that these were the folks that...
Connected to them. And you can get the feel from just looking at the paperwork that this is just a single payment. This isn't...
Maybe one of many.
Right? Exactly. This is a page out of a book of many of these, and you were able to take something that connected with you because the word underneath it, Ladies for Greenfields, is familiar to you and not to Orellani.
Lyra, this Fenman Forestry Company, I am pretty sure is the one that came through my lands in Adojan. But I don't understand this bottom piece, the Ladies for Greenfields. Do you know anything about that?
Yes. Familiar to Lyra. Do I know why?
As you start to say them and the words, and you're close to Orellani, and the smell of the goddess starts to be what helps to trigger memories that you haven't had in a very long time. It's as though what she's left is this gift to try to help open up your mind. And the Ladies for Greenfields is images that you start to have flashes of. Memories. An organization, a group. They have symbol that you recognize. It's a collection of women. You remember listening, and you remember a flash of a mirror, and you're looking at this mirror, and you are a crow. And you are in a room with many crows. And then you realize you're in a cage with many crows. And you are watching a meeting of many women. And although it doesn't make entire sense to you, they are talking about property. And they own and trade land. And they are the Ladies of Greenfields.
Lyra sits down and slams her eyes shut, and with the sort of click of something opening in your mind, this sort of sand imagery that Lyra communicates with telepathically flows into your mind, and you see this image as she does in this moment.
Is there... Because I remember when my people were fleeing, that the people who were purging the land were not necessarily people of those, like, industry up front. It was people seeking to clear the land, so like wizards and clerics who were purging what they determined to be rot and pestilence from the soil. Do any of them have any sort of resemblance, any sort of familiarity, even familial resemblance to the people I saw?
The woman leading this group, whose name you don't remember, there's a flash of her in the mirror. As you're looking at the table, she has an appearance like an older woman who you might have recognized a daughter of. But in the mirror, she's not that human you see at the table. In the mirror, a hag.
You see?
This is disconcerting.
Yes.
My people have lived in relative peace with hags before. We seek the same goals. We seek the same means. Why, then, does this one think she has rights over my land?
Industry. Technology. Poison?
Poison to them, beauty to the rest. Well, she will be added to the list. She will pay as well.
A list.
A list.
Paladin.
Yes.
2.
The Gracethorn
1.
and this woman.
3.
3.
Yes.
Good.
1, 2, 3,
Good.
2. Something for Lyra.
Something for Lyra. We should... If we're going to find And I'm understanding correctly. Eureka basically said, I've deposited you here so you can go find the Grace Thorn.
Yes.
Correct? Okay.
She did give you an indication that she will be back
Yeah.
right, like, before
We're to leave.
she's ready to trigger it.
Okay.
And she feels as though the implication was that there's a timing that's going to happen. So she will pull you from here in the moment that the time is right.
Okay. We should take what time we have to rest. I am not at my full faculties, and if we're going to do what we need to do, then rest is the best thing for us right now.
Yes.
I think
Rest.
we're relatively safe here, unless you wish to switch off and take a watch, but
I am not at my full faculties. Yes.
right. You get some sleep first. I will wait. And then we trade.
Something to do first.
All right?
Orellani, to watch?
Yes.
Inside.
Inside. Ah,
Yes.
I close my eyes.
You would see in your mind, as all of that sort of sand swirls around, it's still almost in the after image of the memory with the mirror and the ladies. And you'd see all of those sand particles start to fall and start to swirl and then rise up into a sphere, which would begin to sort of orbit in this sort of black void in your mind. And as it starts to swirl, you'd see areas that look thin in the orb, like spots where it seems like there's almost a chunk missing out of this sphere. And then in the corner of your vision, you'd see a small swirl of what looks like the earring.
Okay.
The earring with the image of the raven. And it would start to sort of float into your vision, and then in a moment would explode into like a fireworks of many of these particles, and they would flow flying back into that globe as it swirled, and a few of those little patches got filled in.
I think with my eyes closed, I think I try and take a moment to like truly parse out what Lyra is trying to show me. That this earring as a symbology of Georgette's death has done something to this sphere. And her death has added something to this, or is another piece of the puzzle. What am I missing, Lyra?
What am I missing? Orellani. Georgette.
Right.
My words.
You're trying to get your voice back.
My voice. This.
So these trinkets, I saw you drop some, but Onovan picked them up. These trinkets hold such value to you.
And you would see, again, in your mind, that globe would continue to spin, and while it was a little bit more filled in, you would see some of the like gaps and holes would briefly change and morph into the faces of Anthem, of Mog, of everyone we've traveled with, and then Georgette would appear as well.
And do the pieces of the globe, shapes of those into the symbols of what you left with Onovan, pull out?
Yeah, you'd see each of their faces would meld into the shapes of those items that I gave to them. The diamond ring, the hairpin, the matchbox with the factory on it, and the little turquoise egg.
Alla, Anthem, Mog,
Yes.
Onovan, each with an item that separates out from Lyra's full globe. And the globe reforms but is less full.
And if you opened your eyes, you would see that the earring is dust in Lyra's hands.
Okay. How can I help you? I've never asked anybody that question before. But I want to.
You are.
Okay.
Yes. We. 1, 2, 3. And then, in your mind, as Lyra says, 4, you see the 4 faces of who we were traveling with before.
You wish to go back to them?
Not friends exactly. Yes.
Colleagues.
Colleagues.
All right.
Yes.
I will help you get back to them.
Thank you. 5.
Fine. And I would kind of post up if Lyra wanted to take a first sleep.
Yes. Lyra would curl up in her cloak and rest her head in her arms and go to sleep.
And the first thing of the visions that happen as you sleep is falling through the shadow realm.
Just tumbling.
Tumble, 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 tumble. And at one moment, as you're watching it, because you can't help but see what Lyra's dreams are like. And here in the shadow realm, they spin different. Almost as though everything happens backwards. And so Lyra hits the ground as the form you know her as. But then she starts to tumble up. And up through shadows. And up through a night sky that lights up. But instead of seeing thunder and lightning and then hearing it later in reverse. And then at one of these moments in this huge stormy sky, the shape of Lyra, as you know her, transforms. And it looks very painful. And there's a crow, trying desperately to fly through a storm to get away, calling backwards, which would have been to others. And instead the others, through some magic, are latched back. And it's hard to distinguish what this voice yells, but you see the hag from before at the base of the ground, through this storm, rain across her face, in backwards words yelling out something.
I can hear this.
Yes.
Can I try and parse that out?
Yes. Roll insight.
Oh, I'm good at that. New stats or old stats?
New stats
Hell
as
yeah,
you
baby,
are
let's
all
go.
level 5 following the forest.
All right, let's go. We'll use our yucky green one. Insight, you said?
Insight.
Okay. That's a 21.
Let's go. Lyra, digest from this what you think just for you, whatever Lyra takes from this as she dreams.
Okay.
Although the words are all backwards, you understand it. And it is, if you want to be free, go. I release you. But you cannot take the others. Their souls still belong to me. Your powers are great, but if you won't obey me, be cursed.
So she's been cursed by a hag. Okay, so our list is Paladin, the Grace. I'm writing a list. We gotta write a list.
Yep.
Paladin, the Grace Thorn. We have this hag. Who else is on our list?
Paladin, Gracethorn, the hag,
Yeah.
and what was 3?
I know we need to, and the things were to get back to
Yeah,
the other
I think that.
members.
Yeah, I think that's our list of people.
Then get back.
Yeah,
I'll leave some spots open just
Yeah.
in case.
great.
Just a double space,
Absolutely.
Safety
We got a
first.
4-5 just in case, and
Yep.
then we can get back to everything
Great.
else. Okay.
I think Lyra would wake up from that dream. I think
Okay.
that's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. And in the Shadow Realm, everything is enhanced and
Yeah.
penetrates through to you. There is no escape from the what would be wind of that dream, the cold of that moment, the storm, all of those things through to your bones.
Yeah, Lyra would wake up with like a caw, and
Are you all right?
you saw, yes.
I might have
Yes.
dozed a little. Yes, I saw.
And then in like a deep, warm voice, you'd hear from Lyra's mouth, "You've lost your flock, little one." And there's tears in her eyes.
Then we find your flock. And if this hag has taken them from you, she will pay too.
Yes, 1,
2,
2,
3.
yes.
Are you all right to take a watch?
You rest. Lyra will watch.
Okay. And I think I just like do that thing where animals just pace around in a circle for a minute, except I'm pacing on like 2 feet rather than, and then it's all of a sudden just a whoomp, just like down. And I burrow into the ground a little bit. I have a 60-foot or a 10-foot burrowing speed, so I just kind of like burrow down a little bit, get myself in there, and then I just kind of like flump down and go to sleep.
As you watch Orellani do this, in the Shadow Realm, it has this strangeness to it. It's as though she still burrows through, but the floor below you almost would have been made of planks and wood hiding in this space, but instead it's almost as though she burrows into the reality of the shadows and digs up this little swirling bit of darkness. And so all around her at the base is this swirling little nest.
Looks very at home.
And as Orellani sleeps, Lyra would pull out of her out of her bag a little like glass tooth that someone's fashioned. Like it just looks like a molar, but made of clear glass. And she's gonna spend some time with it.
I found when I was in Salem the other day, I found a tooth ring that I wanted to bring home so bad, and then I realized you can't bring teeth across the border. I was devastated, but yes, that makes me very happy. A little tooth, it's fun.
Dentists hate that rule.
Dentists don't like that. Don't bring teeth across the border.
I have so many questions.
I know, right?
Wow, why can't we? Who ruined that for us?
It's like human body parts.
No Kinder Surprises, no teeth.
Yeah. And these were real teeth and rings. So I was in
Because teeth are
Salem.
like seeds, you plant them and then like monsters grow?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mouths grow.
Yeah, just a mouth.
Yeah.
That's all.
Ever been to a mouth field?
Yep. Saving that for later.
You're welcome. My gift to you.
Okay. Anything else for Lyra while she watches?
Nope, that's all Lyra's gonna do tonight.
Okay, the only thing you'll hear through what would be spaces nearby but not close enough to you is the skittering of large spider legs.
I hate that.
But nothing comes around any corners towards you. And so you rest and you watch. And when you wake up together,
You would
hear
wake
the
up
space.
to Lyra staring directly at you.
Good. I can't say morning because I'm not sure, but good morning, Lyra.
Shadows. Yes.
Yes. I'm assuming it's morning.
Morning, Lyra. Yes.
Thank you.
Something for Orellani?
For me.
Yes.
All right.
And Lyra hands you the little tooth.
I think I would take it and pull out like a vial and put the tooth in a vial. Take a small piece of cord of leather and fashion it around the vial, and then put it around my neck.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
You spend time with
With-
this.
All right. I think as we were getting ready, I would attune to it if I can.
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
So what you would discover
Yeah.
as you did that is you would feel, as you attune to it, a connection open between you and Lyra.
Cool.
And it would, in your mind's eye, it would almost look like the waste of an hourglass.
Nice.
That if you wanted to, you could potentially send those little beads of sand through if you had them, which you don't.
Right.
It's fine, it's very, very small, and perhaps only 1 or 2 grains could move through it at a time. You can't reach through it, but you do sense that it's something a little bit more permanent, a little more stable,
Yeah.
and probably would survive over longer distances.
I think as I sit with that, I think a smile kind of pulls at Orellani's mouth, and you just see like a set of just kind of like half-rotten fangs in the back of her mouth. Interesting.
And as you said that, you would start to see a little stream of sand flow through that neck of the hourglass towards your side and begin to swirl and form the shape of a little fox that would dance and then crumble into sort of a drippy, dusty slime and then lie there in a little pile of sand on the floor of your mind, almost.
I think as I feel this happen, I try to make the fox stand up on 2 legs.
You can. It rises again.
This is very fun.
Orellani, return?
I would, as the fox stands up on 2 legs, I would, in my mind, disintegrate part of the ear in the same shape that my ear is kind of like has the chunk out of it, and I would send the pieces of sand back.
Lyra would point at your ear. Yes?
It works.
Yes.
Good.
Lyra can only see on my side.
Interesting. I drop the sand shape of myself and I reform it in the shape of myself when I was a younger, maybe 6 or 7 years younger, and form the shape of Eureka pressing her hand onto my chest, and you see the sand push back and in, and the poison start to seep out, and my skin start to change, and the hair start to change, and that's what I would send across.
As you do that, all of the sand would move through that neck slowly. It would take a moment, like
Yeah.
maybe even up to a minute for all of that to move through. And Lyra just is sort of staring at you blankly, and then, yes, something for Lyra. For safety, and then she would send back a little bit to you.
Ah. And I would take what she sent back and just kind of collect it, and you see it form into a shape of a bottle with a stopper on it. For safety.
Yes.
Good. Okay, well, that was not what I had on my card this morning, but it's good that we can communicate.
My card.
Something I didn't expect this morning. I'm still learning about you. I don't often travel with others, so
Yes.
good. Right.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Stay
With you,
here.
we wait, I think. Do you want to try to go?
You see in your inner mind an image of spiders.
You, I think I'm not going to fully expend a use, but you see as the bottoms of, as I stretch, you see the bottoms of my feet start to branch into spider legs. And I kind of pull them back. That's not a problem.
What?
And they turn back into like my normal feet. If we need to traverse down here, you can ride on my back, no problem. We shouldn't get, if I am like them, we should not get attacked by them, is my logic about it. And if we do get attacked, well, they have made a grievous mistake, and we will teach them the error of their ways.
Yes. Lyra looks a little reassured, but not completely reassured.
Orellani says this with just such confidence that, like, yeah, absolutely, I am not afraid.
Yes.
Can we start taking a look about the room? Like, is there a way out?
Yes. So roll a perception check.
Okay.
And then for Orellani, I will also give you the sound of those spiders. There are well-known shadow spiders. They're like phase spiders from D&D, but they move here through this realm regularly, and they often work for others, and then there can be infestations of them. They would have spilled over occasionally, and just especially in stories about the Shadow Realm. So you would guess that's what she's referring to, although it was very large sounding, and it could be something else.
Okay. I'm gonna cast guidance on myself as we see as I kind of put my hand to my chest, interwoven in the outline on my fur. You see the spores on my skin kind of breathe out and in for a moment as I cast guidance on myself. Okay. 15 plus perception is going to be a 22.
Oh.
Not very good.
You were on watch. And so you had kind of had a vibe that you've been looking around already. But it really only isn't until you actually actively work to perceive the space that it reveals to you a hallway that exits. And with the very high roll, not only does the hallway reveal itself to you, but Orellani will see these sticky yellow footprints of a foot so much larger than yours that leads you away.
Okay. We start following them.
And as you get through one corridor and it turns to another, it takes you into what would be a beautiful town square, but you are in the Shadow Realm version of it. And it is approaching night. You watch, there are people, humans here, that seem to be headed home for the day. You watch them wrap up stalls. There are artisans here, and the landscape is beautiful. Roll history to see if you recognize where you are as you walk out into the Shadow Realm version of a town.
Okay, I'm gonna cast guidance on myself again.
6 for me.
You've just never been here before.
Never been here before.
Okay, that is a 12 plus 1 is 13. Plus 3 is going to be 16.
Although you've never been to Ramonto, you recognize the town. It is famous as a destination for people.
Ramonto?
Ramonto. It's the country over from Orellana. So you're not directly where you left, but you're not somewhere far across the world.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I understand.
And where you've been brought to seems to be this idyllic kind of town. You recognize the square from drawings and discussions about it, and it would be in travel documents. People go here to honeymoon. Merchants travel here to spend time with the artists.
Merchants. Do any of these have home bases in Ramonto?
Not always home bases,
But satellite
but
offices
people
maybe?
meet here.
Okay.
And where you would have gotten some information is it's almost like a conference destination.
I love this.
And if someone was going to have a big meeting and want to meet somewhere, that was like a beautiful place to go, but also known for a beautiful town hall with a merchant guild.
So these babies are just having a meeting in Ibiza is what I'm hearing.
You absolutely feel that. As you look around the space, you know that, and you think about the names of all of these wealthy and privileged and corrupt people would absolutely come to this beautiful town nestled in the base of some rolling hills in vineyard territory at this beautiful lake.
They'd need something this beautiful to hide the stink of their corruption.
And it's oddly connected to the Shadow Realm in a way that you didn't realize. But there's something about this town, and you have memories of it, that it seems oddly safe from monsters. And so people love to come here. And you even, as you were here on the Shadow side, it's different than where you were before.
Okay.
The Shadow Realm doesn't seem to touch this space in the same way.
There's a ward of something. Okay.
Lyra, I think, would notice that you seem to, have recognizing things.
It seems we may have been gifted our arrival here. Fortuitous that potentially more people than we have anticipated would gather here to hide their business under the idyllic landscape, let's say.
Here. You know this place.
Romanto.
Romanto.
Now we're going to have to find out where they are.
I can help you. And you watch your goddess. And she swirls into shape next to you.
Lyra startles.
Careful, do not touch me, little one.
It's the same thing that happened.
Poison.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Lyra, can you bring out the box?
Yes.
You are going to break a promise.
Lyra would take out the box. A promise.
You promised to deliver it.
Yes.
I promise that to you, it's worth it because we will set someone else free.
Pietro.
Charkus Sage.
Meant to be. Yes.
Trapped for Paladin. But what he wants, we can do with this scroll. And she reaches out while you still hold it, careful not to touch you, because it would be much more intense than Orellani's, but the same effect. And she just puts one long fingernail across the top, and
So hot.
it's the trail. And as she pulls her finger across, and just the sticky beads of the toxins.
Or adjust her grip.
Yeah, and the smell of her close to you is so intense. Beautiful in its own way, but
Lyra's fine with this one.
yeah, it's great. And as she pulls back, it clicks open. A scroll of duplication. Any document, any paper, any record. Lyra, wish for it to now be the journal of how Charkus was made.
Wish for it to be the journal of how Charkus was made.
And you watch the scroll suddenly start to fill with notes. All of this paperwork that would have been collected about how someone would have been created by Paladin. And all you can quickly get across it is, I've created wares that come from animals, and it almost always works, but never a monster. And now, the first successful version of it, a slime that has been converted to something that walks and changes with the moon. And this slime that had been touched by a toxic goddess becomes the first of his were-monsters.
Does it look like, because I'd seen Paladin's writing before. Is it in Paladin's
Yes,
writing?
it is.
Motherfucker.
2.
2. 1, technically. Paladin is number 1 on the list.
Charkus will be at the meeting. And I knew that slime, a sweet creature of the swamp. Not
will-
your swamp, but somewhere near my heart.
Charkus still lives, or is he dead?
He has reformed with the moons.
Interesting.
Question. Yes?
Questions don't always have answers.
Cursed friend. Something I need. This, yes?
Yes?
You.
Charkus only works for Paladin still, for the promise of that paper. Of his truth, of who he is and why he is. Not that unlike yourself.
So if we can give this to Charkus.
One less at the meeting. And the Gracethorn, there, spreading the corruption to all of these humans. You will kill her.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will.
And anyone else who stands in your way.
With pleasure.
If my little slime won't leave, him too.
Fine. I did it once, I'll do it again.
And Paladin works for the Zurge, the god of progress. Only, and I tell this to you briefly, but do not dwell on it, or they will read your minds and know there is disruption among the gods. And all of you are woven into it, yourselves and the other four.
Lucky for them.
Paladin wants the new god to kill another.
Which one?
Sweet Maress, the god of love.
Paladin wants Zurg to kill Miress. Why? Has Miress jilted Paladin in some way?
He doesn't believe you need it.
Idiot.
I know. And of all the evil gods, I stood against them. For I feel very much in love. And it would be such a shame. And instead, they capture me, break me. But you can take so much from me before I'm broken. You can take all of these spines and use it inside of Charkus or across the world. They've planted parts of me, and it makes people so sick.
Sick, good, or sick, bad.
It should only be when it is needed. It is timed, careful, delicate.
I feel like in the history of Orellani's people, these spines were gifts to us. And rather than being taken from her, she gave them willingly, and we planted them, and they suffused the land as a boon, not a bane. And to hear that people have stolen her spines to use them for their own gain makes Orellani so fucking mad. And it's just a seething, roiling, quiet sort of angry.
Places that turn down progress get gifted. These little trees, they are mine.
But not given from you.
No, and we will stop Gracethorn, and then I will retrieve them when the time is right.
Yes,
Yes,
And you will stop Paladin.
yes.
yes.
I tried. I wanted to gift him to you with the bracken.
It's already such a gift.
I know.
You love, yes?
You love, yes.
Who?
Roll insight. As she pauses.
I would argue that I could give the help skill with that one, with proficiency and insight.
Can I? Mm-hmm. 11.
Time moves different after ascension, or as the gods experience it. And sometimes when we fall in love, you have to make a choice if you will break a beautiful soul to be with them, or if you will experience what you can and move on. It's unclear to you quite what she's trying to say, and she on purpose does not look towards Orellani through the course of it.
Yes. No, yes.
It is a no, yes.
Question. When you fall, and then Lyra would try to make a telepathic connection.
Okay.
Ooh. Casually making telepathic connections with gods, let's go.
And would attempt to share the dream that she had. You see?
You watch something unusual starts to happen where one of her eyes seems to well with a little bit of her sticky, toxic yellow tear. And she looks over at you and she looks at Orellani finally. And the connection we share, I don't want to stop another. Or a place and time for you to be everything you're capable of, and not just with me always.
I would hope that you have the trust and confidence in me to know that I can hold both and not let one diminish the other.
And she reaches out her very long arms that seem to move and like a thick vine, but also crack like a tree.
So cool.
And she reaches out and she grabs hold of Orellani.
I'd say I'd let her. I absolutely let her.
And roll a d4 and take damage.
Absolutely. Willingly. I do have resistance to poison.
And she, yes.
But
Yep.
I don't think, well, I would also argue, for the sake of narrative, I don't think I have resistance to hers.
No, I would agree.
I only rolled 1.
But you're taking a reduced die roll. And she reaches out a hand over top of you and she says, "Not always a crow. A baby once. Not my yucky baby.
Just the biggest, grossest smile. So good.
A little baby."
Pictures.
Flash to you. Another Jaco. A family member. An aunt. And this aunt delivers a baby Jaco to the hag. And it is baby Lyra. And you're gifted in a way that although there is a familial connection between you and this woman who dropped you off, she is like happy to be rid of you. And she drops you to the hag and she says, "It has powers, take it." And the hag, a flash of little memories that is all the goddess can give you, which is a curse, and you become a crow, but with these abilities to transfer memories, and you are used by the hag along with all of these other magically cursed people to become this little flock, and used for powers to help her gain advantage throughout your life. Until many attempts to escape, many attempts to convince everyone in this flock to come with you, until she banishes you from the family. But your abilities to see and pass visions stayed with you. And she used them in meetings with a trinket to tell what someone else was thinking and to gain advantage until she owned so much land and property that it became her currency of trade. And you get all of these like as flashes of memories throughout this course.
So much. I hate her so much.
She rents properties. She sells properties. She is a part of the ladies of Greenfield.
We hate a landlord.
But coming out of the flashes of memories that she doesn't touch you, but you still roll a d6 as just the fume from her space touches you.
It's a 4.
Take a little bit of poison damage as she passes these memories over to Orellani with the touch connection. Share it all and know her name, because she is there at the meeting, but she will flee instantly when she sees you.
She should be scared.
Meralda.
Meralda?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can name the hag now, Meralda.
With the powers of a name. I think watching Eureka work and do the magic that she does, and to see her show and showcase her power to other people, it's like music. It's beautiful, and it's something that Orellani has grown up to appreciate and then fallen in love with. And to watch her do this in front of Lyra, it's a gift. And I think there's just a placid calmness of, and a proudness that when you watch your partner do something that makes you so proud of them and you see them be proud of themselves. It's just this like shine. I think you would, because we have that connection, you would, and even though you're focused on Eureka at the moment, you would just get this feeling and this glimmer of pride of Orellani that finally someone is seeing Eureka in the way that she does.
I think both of them would see, you two would both see in your minds, Eureka in like full splendor, healed and everything, with you standing beside, and a little shape in the sky flying in circles overhead.
Soon.
I'm not fully healed. And I will have to get in the way of people knowing that I've been here. And so I cannot go with you now. But head towards the mayor's estate, the main town hall. When you step forward into that room where everyone is, you'll break out of the shadows and into the space.
Wonderful.
Lyra, very familiar with cities, even though she does not know this one, just takes off towards where she believes the town hall likely is, leaving the two of you behind.
My eye line follows Lyra, and I look up to Eureka.
And she down to you.
Don't let it be too long again.
I'm so grateful that now you know it was not by choice that I left you there by yourself and alone.
I only doubted it for a moment, and I'll never doubt it again.
I am not infallible, and I am also selfish.
I don't need you to be perfect. I just need you.
Then what time together we have. We have. And continue to grow your powers. And I will bring to you what I can. And we will make things beautiful.
Just like a smile, just like the most genuine. I think so many of Orellani's smiles to this point have had ulterior motive or there's something behind them. There's the calculations like whirring in her mind. But when she looks at Eureka, that just goes and it's easy. It's easy. She doesn't have to mask. She doesn't have to be anybody else. She can just be the person that she is. And so deeply in love. You don't, like, no care of the consequences. Doesn't matter if it hurts. Love hurts. That's what love is.
They are taking Maress like they took me. And you might feel things different because of it.
She hurt Lyra. That is enough for me.
Special.
Yes.
I'll be back. But now trust. Trust that I have to secure things. And interfere with some gods who've been very naughty.
Don't play nice. I like it when you mean.
Let's agree then.
Never. I'll never play nice with anyone else.
Never nice.
Ugh, I'm obsessed with them so much. It's so great. I think at this, Orellani kind of like bows their head and looks back up one more time, winks, and then walks away.
When she walks away, she misses that the goddess would have leaned down towards you for a kiss. But you're already gone.
You gotta keep her wanting more. Gotta keep her wanting more. She left last time. She can wait for that kiss a little bit longer.
Never nice.
Relationship.
We never. Poison is toxic, okay? We never said it was good.
Ooh.
We love a little spicy. This is Eat, Slay, Love. So we had to represent the love somehow.
And the sleigh.
Absolutely.
Let's eat. So,
I feel fed.
when we get to your location destination, is you travel through these streets, and as the urchin background that you have, it's obvious to you that everything sort of leads this way anyways, just like every city is the same in this way of trying to traverse people and funnel them in certain directions. And you can tell that the wealthy streets become obvious. The well cared for, groomed places become more elaborate as you travel towards what would be a center of town, where there is a big, huge building of commerce and aggregation. And at night, while everyone else seems to be going home, there seems to be people arriving. Some of them seem to move as though nervous or secret, and others walk confidently, as though they should be here.
I think, Orellani, I would be paying specific notice if we could post up somewhere where I can notice, because we have a sense of who the major players are here. Those are the people who are going to be walking confidently, who have business, who know that they need to be here. I want to look for the people who don't feel like they need to be here, because those are the people who we can best take advantage of.
Roll insight. And a perception or insight over here if you're
good.
Guidance
Oh
on
yeah.
yourself as
God,
well.
I'm rolling like garbage is what's happening.
We're gonna get you a little box, maybe?
Maybe you should stop that.
I think I should stop that.
Stop absolutely rolling like garbage.
Yeah, it's a 12.
Okay, maybe that dice should just go on vacation in Ramonto, and someone else should come into the party.
Okay.
Okay.
14. At 20? That just rolled over to
Are
me?
you fucking serious?
Nice.
I'm gonna take that up with Jen.
Oh, Jen, we love you.
We'll just leave that little baby right there.
It's infuriating. Okay.
13. Sorry, we're doing insight?
Yeah, I think you're looking for a particular thing about
Yeah.
the people approaching and a general review.
That's going to be 16.
Okay. And the perception.
Was a 12.
Yeah. So people are arriving. It's the same thing that you've seen. You will notice that there don't seem to be. No one looks like they're dressed in an official thing. And what you'll pick up then is that if there was anybody here, like a guard, you watch them get dismissed by someone.
Interesting.
So arriving in a long cloak with confident and a sure step, and you can hear that they are wearing armor. You can see the way their cloak moves, that there is weaponry associated with them. And the cloak and heavy hood are up, and not only do they dismiss any of the guards, but you watch them whisper to someone else, and the rest of the staff that would have still been left in the facility seem to be running if they can.
Right.
And that person takes steps inside.
And we hear the clink of, like, full plate.
And then you watch other people seem to have waited for this person to enter, and they all, for the most part, even if they move confidently following this figure, they defer to them.
Okay.
Let this person enter.
I mean, not for long, because they're gonna die, and it's fine.
You have the indication that you would definitely feel like this is the person that you were coming for.
The Grace Thorn. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And then there's maybe 5 or 6 other people, and one of them has an unusual slinky movement, and as he turns his face, it's Charkus that you know from before, but dressed in a different suit this time. And
This is going on the list with a question mark.
the insight roll tells you that he is nervous, uncomfortable. You remember a confident, cocky asshole from the party. This person looks tired, concerned. They are fearful of the paladin that just walked past.
Okay.
They
Good.
move with, not the motion that you've seen from before. Still like fluid and lanky, but not with the, chest out confidence.
Okay.
And then there are a couple of other people. 2 of them look very nervous, but they are armed.
Okay.
Both men, both human.
Okay.
A little rounder about the middle now, a little bit older. You would guess that if they are capable swordsmen, they probably haven't done this in as long a time. They're probably not actively.
Right. But have some sort of military history, potentially of station.
Yes.
That have now transitioned towards more civvy life.
That's right.
Gotcha.
They probably are trained and capable, but not like you.
It's been a while.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, so rounding it out would be 2 other kind of confident looking people, but they aren't armed.
Okay. And have not seen Paladin
No.
yet. So we've seen Charkus, we've seen the Grace Thorn, we have not seen Meralda,
No.
and these 2 armed men. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're posted up kind of in the shadow space. And they can't see us.
They cannot, because you are in the shadow realm. You're existing in a reality on top of this one.
Okay. Well, I would relay all this information to Lyra. We should make best use of our time here in the Shadow Realm and get into the most advantageous position in the room. I want you to have the best shot you can.
Yes.
I think mirroring the confidence, knowing that we're able to stroll right past any form of guard, I just walk in the front door. I think we just walk straight up in the front door and just like kit out, ready to go. And as you walk in, you would smell, testing out something new for the first time, you smell ozone as you watch little sparks crackle through Orellani's fingers, just trying something out as we walk in the door with a smile. And I walk inside.
Lyra's inches behind you.
And as you take some steps forward, roll perception.
Well, rolled a 2 on the new one, so
Jeez.
that's great.
You're just saving them up. You're saving them up.
Unbelievable. So it's going to be a 6 all in.
Worth guidance on that one.
Jesus.
Okay. Oh, that's great. 15 and 4 is a 19 plus 7 is going to be a 26.
And you're not perceiving the room because you watch as someone arrives magically. You're not seeing anything except the face of an older woman dressed in fine clothes. And she just forms inside of the space, having moved here with magic. But not aware to anyone else. She arrives last. You've watched the rest of them travel upstairs. she arrives into the room, unbeknownst to anyone else having traveled there with magic, but you've seen it. And you recognize her. And it is Meralda in her human-looking form. And she looks so classy.
A loose glamour at best.
Lyra pulls the little mirror she has out of her bag and positions herself so that she can see her reflection in it.
And you worry for a moment because Meralda turns and looks, and it's as though she looks directly at you. And you're seeing the face of the hag in the mirror. Roll a stealth check.
Can I give the help action on that by like seeing this happen and then also just kind of like putting
Your perception is good. Yes.
putting
yes.
my arm around and just being like, careful.
25.
Heyo, let's go.
She looks through you. But you watch a shiver across her. And then you hear from upstairs a as though a meeting calls to order. And although she stares through you, she moves to walk up the stairs instead.
I want to unnerve her. I want to unnerve this hag from a realm she cannot see. And I think kind of following what Lyra's done now that we've identified as her, I would kind of like gesture for us to just flank a half step behind her as she walks up the stairs. And I kind of from the mange, I would want to use druidcraft just to have the blooms come from my skin, come from the rot, just to eke that smell of that sweet, sickly decay. I want her to be concerned. I want her to be unnerved and scared of like, why the heck is this happening? Why can I smell this when I can't see it?
Yes. Amazing. Oh my god. Okay. It fills the space enough that you obviously also sense it. And in the Shadow Realm, in a kind of a different way. So you would think that what you've smelled from Orellani doing this kind of magic before, and instead it has a bit of a different thing, but it's almost like it gets pulled away from you, and it swirls through the space because it's always moving. And as it swirls away to you, you watch it swirl in a brief cloud around this human woman as she takes her steps, and you watch her with every step cock her head a little bit to the side, and as another foot hits the carpeted plush stair leading up, she puts a hand out on the banister and stops and turns to look back. And as you are both right behind her, she again is looking straight through you, and you can smell her breath through Orellani's. Sweet, rotten, and her breath instead is like a rich meat stew.
It's like so umami and like...
Yes, and like she's eaten recently, and it's like pieces of it are still in her mouth. And she takes another look across the room. And you watch her touch her chest briefly and tap. And then she turns back.
Did she tap like a necklace or a piece of jewelry?
Yes, it
Okay.
looks like there's something along.
A ward of
Is
some
it
kind.
anything that I would have seen in those memories?
Roll a history at advantage.
17.
Hags are not usually alone. And although she acts solo very much and is the leader, these necklaces connect them. Mm-hmm. And so you get the impression that she might have sent a message to someone
Her
by
coven.
tapping.
I would visually relay that to Orellani.
And you just like you hear just the impression of just like a low chuckle that if she's this all-powerful hag and she's calling her coven, she's scared, as she should be.
It's not Lady Greenfield, it's the ladies, right? So
Yeah.
she is definitely the one in charge. But she sent some sort of message.
Okay.
And she travels upstairs. And we travel upstairs. And we go to break. We will return from a short human break. Grab a fresh cup of whatever you're drinking, because we will see you in a few minutes. And we will get upstairs and fight a paladin. Yes!
Are you ready?
What is sound check? What do we do on sound check?
Well, technically, we're supposed to count to 5 so that you can balance our audio. However, we no longer count to 5. We do stupid voices and characters, and you're not even in the sound booth anymore. So, quite frankly, I don't know what this is.
Do our bedward. Bedward, the squeaky motel bed frame that's traumatized by some shit that it's seen.
They think, I haven't been around the block, that I haven't been in the Motel 6, for a while, but I have, all right? I've been around, all right? I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
What do you mean, you people?
I mean the lowest of the low. I mean the dregs. I mean the people who are trying to get away from their wives or spouses or husbands or whatever, and they come to me. I don't ask for it, but they do, and they leave all their dirt and their stains, and they go. And all that's left, besides the filth, is the echo of my broken body. Just... This is them adjusting. He pulled something in his lower lumbar. And he's done. You never forget. When a statement must be made, it must be made loudly.
Sometimes it's the only way to face the darkness is to embrace the darkness.
Welcome back. Heroes! Yay!
That's us!
I am not a barbarian!
Settle down.
You do you, babe.
Kill a few people here and there in the name of don't kill me.
There's a little something else in there.
We've been through some stuff together.
This is how we create
Peer
bonds.
pressure.
It's been the best part of my life.
I'm not going to the temple!
You start to vomit all over Aaron. No!
He had a fling with a tiefling.
Maybe I should wear like a sneaky detective outfit. Are you sure I can't tempt you? With this!
That's not delightful, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fight, and you guys are turning it into a sex thing, and that damage was trash.
And what is your 7th favorite drink?
Oh my god.
Friends solve puzzle together. Friends, our team. I'm good at killing things, and you guys are passable.
Hello. Harold. Lovely wedding.
He is now engulfed in flames.
I think I got in a couple good hits.
Fennels. Unconscious again. Hello, Zap.
He dropped a 0.
Estravel!
She is the devil.
Okay, so she's looking for a vessel, and that's...
Do not let that happen.
Focus fire.
You are so hungry. The familiar and unfamiliar faces of everyone you've ever killed. There is no justice here, only sickness. And I am the cure.
No.
Her eyes go black.
Oh, no. No, I'm down.
Saving them is... That's it. That's all. That's all. That's everything. Not ideal to have to kill your friends.
She repeats back words that you said to her once. When a statement must be made, it must be made loudly.
I've found people and I'm starting to feel like a real person again.
Because I have friends. I have friends now.
Welcome back, and welcome to the combat arena in this beautiful ballroom, converted to a clandestine evening meeting location. And although it appears to us here in full light, You two are still in the Shadow Realm. And so you arrive to the space at the top of the stairs, but it is a swirling gray version of this reality where no one recognizes you or sees you because they instead are paying attention to a woman at the front dressed in full Paladin adornment. She doesn't have a helm on as she talks to them, but you see her sword. You could pick out here Charkus, nervous, at the end of the table. Probably supposed to give an update or information, relay something. People that you'd seen in the hall, 2 of them have swords. They all look like they are there for a meeting where they are coming as on behalf of their business and less as soldiers or guards. They don't seem to travel with guards, which is interesting. What you might expect just nobility to do. And then the hag has walked in and you have followed her and she has traveled up here.
Okay. If she's followed that way while we're still in the Shadow Realm, can I position myself behind that pillar at the front? The back one there. Yeah. That's where I would like to be.
I would like to hide behind the, no, wait, I still have the scroll, right? Or the letter now. I'm gonna hide like behind the table where the Charkus is at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's me ready to go. That's me ready to pop off.
And so you can take you know that if you step into the world with intention,
Yeah.
you'll be released from the Shadow Realm.
Okay.
Do you want to try anything here before you move into the arena where they are not expecting you? And you can hear the versions of their conversations warped as though through thick water.
Can I get a sense of what the weather is like outside in the real world?
Yeah. There's big windows around in this space. The sun has set. It's a twilight evening. It's light. In the air, in terms of very little breeze, it's a lovely late
Clear night or
fall
cloudy?
evening. There's enough of a few clouds across the moon, but more just to make it pretty than anything else.
Okay, great. That works for me.
I would like to try and see whether I can telepathically connect with Charkus
Oh, dang.
across the shadow.
Okay, and have you given Orellani that info? So what is she waiting for?
I'm waiting. I would say I'm waiting on your signal because I know
Yeah.
exactly what I'm going to do when we walk through. But I'm going to be waiting on your signal.
Okay. So there's kind of you sense like there's sort of like that swirl of dust you see in your
Yeah.
mind's eyes kind of almost feels like it's holding for something, as if it's going to indicate when it's time to move.
Okay.
Wonderful.
And I would like to try and connect to Charkus.
Okay. And what is it that you'll attempt to do?
So I want to try and prepare him for what he's about to see by first showing an image of that document in as much detail as I can muster with the sand I have in my mind.
Okay. And so this just flows into his mind.
Flows into his mind almost out of nowhere.
Maybe like that it's in his hands.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. It's something that he's wished for and thought about so much that I think when he looks down at his hands to wring them out of nervousness, he feels like maybe he's manifested being able to see it. But you watch the expression across his face, which is on a long neck and wobbles a little bit to the side, the way he moves. You watch him kind of freeze a little bit as the image takes place in his mind, as though he's holding onto this like shifting sands paper that has words he knows are important.
And in that moment, I would send, like, you'd see the swirl of sand spike.
Yeah.
And Lyra would step through and, trying to stay out of sight, push the papers into his hand.
And you are down below the table.
Yes.
Roll stealth for me so I know how quiet I can move here.
It's a good one. It's my first really great roll. That's going to be a 29.
Hello.
I mean, just, yeah, great. Okay. No one hears as you step forward into our reality. But you are below the table.
And knowing that Lyra has stepped through, I too would step through, being entirely behind the statue.
Okay, roll a stealth for me just so we have an impression.
And just before I would, knowing that I can cast magic here, I'm going to cast guidance, and then I'm going to step through.
Yeah.
Good, 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 good.
I'll hold the... I have passive perceptions of the people in the room, and then...
Flirty 20.
Okay, you are undetected, both of you. But you sense now in this world a connection drop from the Shadow Realms version of your connection with Orellani. And instead, it's the connection she has to the item that's with her, which feels like righted suddenly. Instead of being an upside down or hourglass, it's almost like it's turned the other way. So you know she's here with you.
And are we in an initiative count now, or are we?
Not yet.
Okay.
You're unrecognized by the people in the room, but now you can hear for real what they're saying.
Okay.
And so they're talking about business. They are all reporting back to the Paladin.
I think I would want to stay as long as possible to try and glean as much information, and then catch them at a moment where they truly are not going to be suspecting of anybody else doing anything in the room.
I hand that.
And his hands were there as though he was visualizing it, and then suddenly he sees you. And you watch his mouth open at first.
I go.
And recognizes you.
Does he see me?
No.
Okay.
I continue to make eye contact with him.
Terror on his face. Terrified.
I look down at the document in his hand.
He starts to digest what this says. Terror transitions to relief, but it comes back to fear. Roll a persuasion.
That is an 8, but I'm gonna use my Jayco recall ability to take advantage on it. That is gonna be a 13.
Okay. You're not sure what he will do in the moment as we roll initiative.
Okay. Let's do it. Okay, that's good. That's good.
18.
Flirty 20.
Flirty 20. Okay. And 18 for Lyra.
Yes. 18 for Lyra. Lyra's got numbers down.
Yeah.
Words? No, it was great. A little shaky. Numbers?
Math bird, not a word bird.
Yeah. Oh, math bird. All the numbers are combinations of other numbers.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except if you're speaking French.
That's true. I also feel like it could be canon that Lyra has trouble with bigger compound numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
22 could be 2.
Okay. Orellani, you'll be first to act.
Okay.
In this case, all you can sense from Lyra is her arrival in the room, and that you know that she hasn't acted yet.
Okay. So I am just truly gonna kick things off here because Orellani has a singular purpose, has been told a singular purpose, has a singular goal, and when Goddess says jump, you say, how high, mommy? So I am going to spend a sorcery point to use Subtle Spell. I'm gonna use a 3rd level spell to summon just this stinking storm cloud as I'm gonna cast Call Lightning. I do not use verbal and somatic components at all, so they cannot hear where the spell is coming from. So it's almost as if through any open window that a cloud and a low fog starts to sink in the room and snake up the walls. And sinks up above and sits on the roof. And then essentially she's wearing full plate and holding a sword upright. That's a lightning rod.
Betcha baby she is.
That is a lightning rod, so she's gonna have to make a dexterity saving throw.
We love physics here.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, she's wearing full plate? That's a lightning rod, baby, let's go.
Love that.
She rolls a 7.
Okay, that is a failure. She is going to take 3d10 lightning damage.
Benjamin Franklin ass shit right here.
Absolutely, let's use physics
So
to our
good.
advantage. Oh, those are very good. That's an 8 and a 6 and a 7. 15 plus 6 is 21 points of lightning damage.
Holy moly.
And that cloud stays up, and I believe I am concentrating.
Okay. Wow. Huge move. Okay.
And she still won't know where I am because I'm technically still hidden because I used a subtle spell.
Yes. Oh, dang. Okay. This, you obviously see this happen in the room.
And it smells that, like, instead of that ozone, it's that sickly sweet decay that has just cracked down from the...
And you're not seeing across the table, but you do obviously the ceiling and what's happening around you in terms of the storm that Orellani has brought into this room. And you hear the screams that start. Not from the Paladin. In anger, yes, but not the same that you hear in fear from everyone else. It's the other merchants and nobles in the room are panicking. And the Paladin is instead rocked, but not afraid.
That's
Rocked, but not afraid.
Charkus goes next.
What's it gonna be?
Run, baby boy. Just run. Just run, baby boy. That's all you gotta do.
Okay. On his turn. He uses a bonus action spell to cast Expeditious Retreat.
Ah, smart man.
Okay. He will dash. But you watch as he leaves the room. He just says, "Thank you." Kill her. And he flees.
Well done. One off the board.
Lyra would be like, yes.
Yes. I'm gonna erase him off the list.
Ability vibe from you because you've connected with his mind. He's a warlock. You get an impression of some other things about him that were confused and unknown to you. He has other abilities. And having connected with him now, you can digest some of that later to figure out if you can the patron and that kind of information, but it's unclear to you. But I'll give you that after a connection like that, he uses magic to get out of here this fast. But that was amazing. He would have fought against you both. Yeah.
Well done.
Okay.
Good team. Orellani and Lyra are a very good team together.
Very good team.
Okay. And Lyra, it's your turn.
Okay. Lyra is going to peer around the corner to try and get an eye line on the Gracethorn.
Okay.
And if she is able to see her, she's going to throw two like ghostly ethereal feathers, just whoosh, whoosh.
Amazing.
And that's a natural 20 for the first one.
Let's go!
And then finally I'm rolling well. And then the second one is going to be 14 to hit.
The 14 doesn't hit.
Okay.
The nat 20, obviously.
Okay, sounds
Double
good.
damage.
So that's gonna be.
And your sneak is doubled as well because you're hidden.
Thank you. I'm
Rogues
prepared.
are fun.
I'm fucking unprepared.
Do you need me to send some of my kids to camp? Do
I
you
got
need
this.
some dice?
I got this. It's a lot of dice. I'm rolling them here. This is the correct number? Yes, okay. Jeez, that's cocked. That's 27 damage.
Yep, okay. Let's go.
And at the same time, Lyra is going to caw very, very loudly.
Okay. This will reveal you to people.
As soon as after the hit, that is what she's gonna do.
Okay. So the sneak attack damage now, what you would need to be either you need to hide again to make it happen, or whatever.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
She's angry.
And she's not just seeing the Gracethorn.
Yes.
You can see Meralda.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was for Meralda.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Amazing.
Lyra's a simple bird.
But so not simple, but so simple.
Simple, non-simple, complicated bird.
Love it.
She's not like other birds.
Incredible. Just two special little babies out here doing a big murder.
Little babies, big murder.
Little babies, big murder.
Oh, just the title of the episode.
Absolutely. Absolutely, that's
It's
the
a
title.
big murder for
It's a
little
big murder
babies.
for little babies.
Okay. The Paladin. Who just like, you watch her just, having taken the hit of this, one of those goes a bit wide, or she just manages to move out of the way, and then when she turns back, the second one just directly in that little spot between her chin and her armor, right through. And it just starts to bleed, and she just starts to wipe all of it. And you watch as she turns, and she has these piercing blue eyes, and her hair is pulled back into this her hair's so blonde it's almost white. And it's pulled back into a very stern braid. It dangles down her back. And you watch as she just comes, and she leaps onto this desk. She drops down in front of you.
Shouldn't have cawed.
That's okay. She's gonna get rocked by that lightning again.
Yeah. And she pulls her sword. And she swings at you. She smites this.
Great. Love that.
She will use branding smite.
Oof.
One of the scarier smites.
It is a scarier smite.
Among the most frightening smites.
This is a 13 on the die plus her greatsword of 5, so an 18.
That's gonna hit the fuck out of me.
Okay.
But I would like to use Uncanny Dodge.
Yes.
Just throw it out there right now.
Okay. And her attack deals 14 damage.
Is that after?
No.
Before?
Then you have it.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm gonna have that. It would be like a pigeon doing this. You just like tick out of the way at the last second.
Awesome.
Just gets grazed.
Grazed.
Grazed. Lightly grazed.
And she swings at you again.
Fun.
With her second attack.
Okay.
Nat 20.
No!
Picked the wrong one to Uncanny Dodge.
That's okay, that's okay.
That's okay. It's a... This one is...
You gotta disengage from that.
12 points of damage.
Okay.
And you just watch around her, every step she takes, there is the aura of this paladin. And in her presence, you just feel off. She's wearing all of this metal, and it's so natural to her that there is a movement and everything about the steps she takes and the aura around her. You've never felt anything quite like it. It doesn't feel like being out in the wild anymore, or running through, even on cobbled streets that would be man-made. There's just an energy to her that feels outstepped.
And she's an oathbreaker of Eureka,
Yes.
right? Well, this bitch
Yes,
has
she
to
is.
die then,
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
Her.
I do, on principle. I
hate
have
this.
to. We hate this on principle.
She has broken an oath to your goddess and then reformed under a new god.
That
It's even
sounds
worse.
cowardly to me.
That's cheating and then dating your sister.
And like from across the room, you the smell of her to you too. Like
She just smells wrong and off.
wrong.
Yeah.
Off. And she stands in front of you and she just says, watching like as the second hit comes through you, she's like, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to roast and eat you.
It's deeply fucked up.
She looks down at this little bird form, taking both of these strikes. She stays where she is. Following her turn, the hag, Meralda. Oh, Mira, the ka. Let me just see. She's gonna stay a turn. She's so curious. She will also perception check. Shitty. Okay. Does not notice something else in the room. There's too much going on, and she's too distracted by what you might be.
Great.
Rather than to look behind her. And she just yells out over to the paladin. She says, Graythorn, don't kill it. Catch it. Let's ask it questions. And she uses her own mimicry. And she goes, Caw! Back to you.
Fucking hate that shit. Okay.
I think that'll be it. She's holding something. You watch her move her hands.
No, that's not allowed.
Following the hag's turn. So all the dudes in the room here, who have mostly, you get the impression, seeing across the table, probably, let me check, at least one of them has wet their pants with a nat one. And these two here who have swords, they look at the paladin, but she's not looking at them. And so you watch them move to pull their weapons, but their hands are shaking. So this one will try to hold ground, being near her, but stay back. And this one will move back here.
Okay.
Weapons ready. But really, you can tell that it's for show.
Okay.
They assume that she's got it handled. And these two will hide behind the desk. Not realizing you're back there.
No.
So they sclamber across the table to hide.
Such a stupid mistake on their part.
Okay. Back at the top of the round, it's Orellani.
She's gonna have to make another dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay. I think it's only a +2. Yeah. Okay. Oh no, +3. Oh, it's a 5 on the dice.
So she's gonna also take 3d10 again. Where are we here?
Rolling good to attack. Really good. You know what? The armor is real tight. It's like just so.
Well, I feel like she's not good at it because it's lightning coming after metal. She's the biggest metal thing in the room.
Choices were made.
With 3 7s across the board, that is 21 points of lightning damage.
Ooh. Damn. She looks terrible.
And then what I'm going to do on principle, because I don't like this witch, is I'm going to move myself out of hiding. I'm gonna take my scimitar out. I don't have an extra attack, but I'm gonna bring it up to the small of the hag's back. And I'm just going to say, because she can smell me. She knows it's me now. And I go, run while you can. You won't last long otherwise.
Roll an intimidation while you're here at advantage. This is the smell from downstairs. And she realizes this is a trap.
I tried to tell her.
It's a trap.
Okay, intimidation. I have very high charisma for a druid. I was joking with Roz earlier that I'm a druid, that I'm playing like a bard. That's gonna be a 19.
Oh, okay. Okay. You sense her tensing.
Good.
She doesn't know how many other people or assassins are in the room.
Could be in the room. That's what I want. I want to give her the sense that like she is outnumbered. She will be outmatched if she stays any longer.
And it was planned.
Yes.
She sensed it downstairs, and all of a sudden, the trap that they have walked into, if you're telling her it's not for her, she's interested and a little bit nervous.
Good.
Which comes right after the like, caw! Now she's like, oh no.
It is for you, but it's not for you.
You know her as a coward, though, in many ways.
And I think that's something that I want Lyra to see. I want to see her flee. I want her to like portray the cowardice she has, because it's truly only cowards that don't seek to grow their knowledge by themselves. They leech it from other people. So I want to show her, I want her to show the room exactly who she is by leaving.
When she dominates people, it is not by respect. Yes. Following Orellani. It would be Chark, but he's left Lyra.
Get her.
Lyra is going to disengage and come around the table to the sort of far side of it. And how much would I have seen? I guess I would have been in pretty close combat. I probably wouldn't have seen what was happening over there.
Just the storm happening, right?
Yeah.
The lightning striking the Paladin is obvious throughout the space.
Okay, Lyra is going to peer around the corner and like, I think Lyra would have a moment here of like, I know the order of the list, but like, fuck, I want to go deal with that, but Orellani's there. So she's going to peer around the corner, look at Gracethorn, and attempt to use her passenger ability. So that's a wisdom saving throw.
Yes. Do you want to describe a little bit of this? Because it's new to Orellani and new to the audience.
Can we see whether it happens first?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I'm excited. I love new powers.
Nat 1.
Oh, baby.
So, what would happen is as Lyra stared, that the sand, because you're actually still, you'd be reconnected again to Lyra from when she connected to Charkus, and so you'd start to see this sort of sand swirling up into like a sort of upside down funnel, and like shoot almost out of sight of your inner eye.
Yeah.
And on her next blink, the next time she blinked her eyes, Lyra would be looking out of Gracethorn's eyes.
Oh, shit.
And she would not yet be aware that this is happening. But you would actually see as well kind of a manifestation of whatever she's looking at.
Is this kind of like a dominate person ability?
It's its own thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah, and that is going to be Lyra's entire turn, because that's action and bonus action. Okay.
Amazing.
Obviously, she's going to try and be as out of sight as possible.
Yeah, she's short enough as well that in the space she's taken a look at it, done her spell.
Yep.
Ability effect.
Yep.
And then back behind the table.
Great.
Because she will see through Grace's eyes.
Okay.
Following your turn, the Paladin, who realizes someone's come for her, calls out to her god. And you just hear her say, "Bring the Surge!" And she holds out, hoping to channel divinity. And you watch the fearful in the room become full of zeal.
Emboldened.
And racing forward, or stepping to race forward, which will be their turn, you watch them turn to you.
Love this.
And these two seem to look up. They don't move forward.
Okay.
But they look towards the Paladin. As she turns back as well. Orellani, make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Got a little bit of a bonus to this because we just leveled up. It's a 22.
Nothing happens.
And I think does she look at me?
Yes.
I lock eyes with her and she would see the a bit of like yellow poison start to drip from my mouth, and it would just kind of like seep down my chin, and my tongue would just like lash out and just lick it back up. And I go, and I know, and I would look at her and I think I would say to her, nobody steps away unpunished.
the divinity and lay on hands. She heals a little bit, and so she's watching your yellow, and as you lick your teeth, and you're watching parts of her heal. Paladins. In a weakness from her god, you sense. It is not like your goddess at all. No. Connected to this realm so intricately and woven through so many threads of life and death and the experience of being a part of the planet. This is new and not well connected. And weak.
Break it. Just break it.
On the hag's turn. And she feels the blade at her back. And she smells you. And she says, "Release me and I will flee." I'm so scared. I'll leave. I promise.
My quarry isn't with her yet. I don't move. I can't because it's not my turn, but the blade would stay pressed in her back.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just a light pressure. It's just it hasn't gone through her robes. It hasn't anything. It's just she can feel the point in her back. And if she chooses to leave, she can do that. But I said what I needed to say.
As she moves her hands a little bit, and her last thing is, "Don't see me. Don't chase me." And the spell she's been working on is to be invisible. And she casts it, but you're still holding her. So her hope is that you will just let her leave.
Okay.
But now it looks like there is nothing between you and the paladin other than another soldier.
Okay.
She's invisible now.
Okay.
But you still feel her. And these weak gentlemen, this one will come at you, Lyra, seeing where you are, and swing a sword. A feeble attempt. It is only an 11.
Nope.
This one will kneel at the paladin's feet. And you get the impression that there is some offering here. That might be life.
Okay.
But it is not their turn. His sword drops as he rests at her feet, giving himself to her. A sacrifice in this moment, if she takes it. And it's your turn, Orellani.
Oh, she's gonna have to make another dexterity saving throw as this crackle and smell rips through the room.
This is a 16.
That is my armor class, so she is going to take half damage.
Okay.
So she will take damage, but only half.
That would have dropped her if she had to take full damage. Even with her heal.
That's, I mean, it might even now, 10, 20, 26, half to 13.
Okay. She almost kneels, but stays up. But you watch it rock her as well, and she is almost eye to eye with the supplicant human in front of her, and instead, with shaking legs, raises up to her feet. And she says, "Punish me more then!"
I mean, okay, if that's what you want. Not here to yuck anybody's yum. And then as a bonus action, I am going to send a stream of spores across the room, and I'm gonna cast Healing Word on Lyra. And I'm gonna do that at, let's say, 2nd level. Three and 3 is 6, plus 4 is going to be 10.
Love that, thank you.
10 points of
that was needed.
Healing. And then
What to do about the hag?
I want to turn the paladin's attention on me because I haven't taken any hits yet. And I am going to move towards the golden statue.
Do you release the hag?
I haven't held her.
Okay.
I'm not holding
So it was
her.
just the
It was
point?
just the point of my blade.
And so it drops away from her.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll go there. Basically presenting myself almost as like a target for...
Realizing what else is in the room, the paladin obviously shifts their eyes to you. Seeing so much of the way you move, all of the spots of you that are touched by her former goddess, smelling you approach, it's like it's disgusting to her now.
It should choke her.
Yes. Yes. Lyra.
Okay.
Finish her.
I would like the paladin to know that I'm in. I want her to see a image that's swirling like against her will without even her realizing anyone was in there of Eureka like in her current form and then reverting back into like full splendor. And Orellani standing there, and Charkus as well. And with the hopes of capitalizing on potentially that moment of distraction, I'm going to 2 more feathers.
Let's go, let's go.
The eyes of the Gracethorn would have been locked on you as you approach, instead look like Lyra's eyes.
Incredible, I love this.
In this moment, and this swirl of sand that seems to take over inside her mind. Roll your attacks.
Ooh, they're not amazing. Damn. That's gonna be a 8 and a 15 to hit.
Okay. They both miss.
Okay.
This plate.
I'm going to... Lyra's gonna disengage and try to run back.
Do you have any psychic attack abilities that we could use, because you are inside her mind and it is bad?
I can't attack with this.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
That's not how this works.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because there is... What we'll instead do is impart disadvantage for
Yes,
her.
I can give disadvantage.
Yeah.
Then on
Yeah.
ability checks.
Okay.
Yeah.
She is rocked by this.
Okay.
It is... The lightning has sent her off balance and should have killed her. But she has absorbed energy from the god, and this is so unsettling. And
Good.
yeah. Okay.
And I'm
okay.
gonna dodge out back, try to get behind that statue if that's within.
Yeah, so you move to the space.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I assume it's like a disengage.
Yes, yeah.
Bonus action movement. Yeah. Okay. On the paladin's turn. Oh man, you guys are so good. She was gonna just
Like we've done this before.
I know.
God, just bring in some experts or something. Yeah, I think what she's gonna do, she lays waste to the man in front of her.
She kills him.
She kills him. And she takes hit points from him.
Uh-huh. That's yucky.
She's still looking extremely injured, but this is putting her back up a little bit. And she uses her movement to chase you.
Goddamn.
Rude.
And so through her eyes, you see her approach you.
Okay.
She can't get all the way there.
Yeah. She has a 30, but she would have been up here, so. Yeah, she cannot get all the way there.
Okay.
That'll be her turn. I'm just gonna double check the thing here. Yeah.
So, Orellani, you would be seeing in your mind's eye, like through Lyra's communication with you, you'd be seeing like a close up of the Paladin's eyes that look like Lyra's eyes, and inside of them, you would see what she's seeing with her vision, which is Lyra. So you'd be looking at Lyra through Lyra's own eyes.
Lyraception.
Lyraception.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Following her turn, it's the hag, who is invisible, and so you don't know what happens. But all you hear throughout the room is another mimicked voice, and it just says, "Something for Lyra."
Fuck me.
Fuck this witch.
I fucking hate her so much. Just like, it made me viscerally angry.
That's the joys of D&D.
Okay, this one is dead.
Sure.
These two, I'll roll. These guys suck. They roll really bad all the time. They are still scared. And so their fear overwhelms any ability to chase. This guy. I don't know that he would have... Yeah, I think he's gonna come this way. Make sure he's got a 30. Yeah. Attack says you got.
Okay.
14, so 17 total.
That hits.
Okay. It's not a magical sword by any means.
Okay.
And so you take 3 points of damage.
Okay, and I will make my concentration check for... that is, I only had to get a 10, and that was just a 10, so we're good.
Baby.
So lightning stays up.
Okay. Okay. You're at the top of the order.
And I think looking this man square in the eye, I like imparting the idea that you are so beneath a threat to me that I'm not going to even deign you with any sort of response. And I just look at him square in the face and just go, boom. And the crack is gonna come down again, and she's gonna need to make another dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Okay, that's a good roll. 18.
That does succeed, but she's
Half
going to
damage.
take half damage.
She's not getting enough back to like survive through all of these.
10 and 9 is 19, plus 4 is 23, so halved to 12.
Okay. Barely standing.
And
Smoking.
and I will send another. Am I within 60 feet of Lyra?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna send another bonus action healing word, another 2d4 to Lyra. That is my job right now, is to keep my friend alive.
Love this, weedy injured bird. Love this.
Yes. Okay, with a 3 and a 2, that's 5, plus 4 is 9 points of healing.
Very nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and that is my turn. I stay exactly where I am, just like unfazed by this tiny, tiny, puny man in front of me.
And the storm above you in the room has that green, brown, swirling energy like you would see in the storms that cause like tornadoes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a usual.
There's dust and there's like the earth has been picked up and moved into it.
It's messy.
And yummy. Messy and yummy.
And it's Lyra's turn.
Okay.
Get her.
Lyra is going to rush towards her. And as she does, she's going to show her what Lyra is seeing and continue the Lyraception. So she would see an image in her mind of what Lyra is seeing as she rushes towards her own face, coming closer and closer and closer as Lyra.
Oh my god.
That's so scary.
Oh my god.
Just like a coldness in her eyes. That's going to be 16, and the other one doesn't hit.
Okay.
Just gonna fucking. Oh, okay.
Okay, get it.
It's not a lot. It's not gonna be a lot.
That's okay.
6 damage.
It's the last thing she sees before she dies.
Yeah! Let's go.
What does the final moment look like?
It's just this like black, ethereal, inky, ghostly, shadowy quill, just right, boom, square in between the eyes. Just whoosh.
She's watched her own face. And she watches, before she feels it, she sees this ethereal, ghostly feather hit and pierce as though someone else's face has been hit. And then she feels the pain.
What a gift to like know the way that she's gonna die. It's like a couple seconds before.
And then nothing. As she just tumbles backwards. Lost to her god. Lyra, you're in the room with movement left. But you're also suddenly rocked by something else. Other trinkets that you've given to people suddenly seem to blink out of existence, as though your 4 previous traveling companions are dead.
You would see in your mind's eye that like hourglass waist. You would see 4 of them like shatter like in glass, and Lyra would drop her. She'd fall to her knees, and that would be the end of her turn as she just sort of stared stunned, drained, and like suddenly exhausted.
You know that as well from Lyra. As it goes from her turn to what would have been the Paladin. And instead, this guy here. I'm gonna roll to find out if he's still held by the god. And is not.
Okay.
Drops his sword and shakingly looks across the room at everything and realizes he's still in danger and says to you, you don't have to kill us. We'll pay you. We'll pay you anything you want.
What company do you work for?
Pulls out as you guys grab your list. Hi, I'm Hanaka Mines. And he looks across at, obviously a dead colleague is on the floor, but there are 2 more hiding. He says, we are Trellis. And for now, we have much wealth. What else do you want? What is it that we can give you? Assassin.
I look at him and I this is so gross and I love it. I put my finger in my mouth and I take my claw, like covered in that sticky, like acidic, poisonous saliva, essentially, and I run it down his cheekbone, leaving a scar on his cheek. And I say to him, if you or any of your colleagues touch Adarjan again, I will find you and make you eat your insides. Now go, before I change my mind.
He takes damage, first of all.
It would just be 1d4 plus 1.
Yep. It doesn't kill him. And then roll a intimidation with advantage.
I rolled a natural 1, and then I rolled a 19. For intimidation, plus 4 is 23.
And you watch him nod vigorously. And he looks over and across the room to the other two and he says, "Get over here and take the brand."
Hell yes.
As he calls the other two to also accept a scar from you.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I do the same on them.
He says, "Thank you, mistress. Thank you."
And I just look at them and I go, "You're nothing to me."
And they, with your permission to leave,
It can leave.
Mommy, sorry. Mommy, sorry.
Absolutely, mommy sorry energy. Nature's vicious, y'all.
they'll take that with them, forever changed.
Absolutely. As
There is still a corpse on the floor here. There is a dead paladin, and there is a unconscious Lyra.
I am gonna run over to Lyra, and I am gonna put 3rd level cure wounds into her. Okay, so that is that's gonna be 19.
Okay.
And I am going to like gently try and wake her. Because whether this is unconscious, like from sleep, unconscious from shock, I'm gonna try and like gently rouse her out of this.
Would that wake me, Rose? Mm-hmm. Okay. Lyra opens her eyes.
What's wrong? What happened?
Really. And she's kind of just making like a bit of a like pained kind of cooing sound.
Okay.
And as she looks up into your eyes, you would see in your mind the faces of Ala and Onavan and Anthem and Mog, just sort of floating there. But unlike how these images looked before, they look incomplete, like there's pieces missing from them. Held together, barely forming those shapes as they kind of swirl for a moment, and then the sand kind of falls and deforms.
Are they dead? Do you know?
She shakes her head.
We don't grieve until we know.
We don't grieve until we know. We know.
Do you want to try to reach out? Or does it feel too dangerous?
She's afraid. She doesn't want.
Do I see that fear?
Yeah. She looks terrified. Like absolutely terrified.
I think I kneel down and I take the sleeves of my coat and I cover my hands, knowing that if I touch Lyra barehanded, it will hurt her. And I don't want to do that. And I put my hands on either side of her, on her body, and I say, "It's not done until we say we're done."
Lyra grips your sleeve.
Yes.
And in your own voice, you hear, "I am not at my full faculties." And as she looks up at you, "Good is a relative term. Yes?
Yes.
Something for Lyra?" And she's crying.
We'll find them. One way or another.
One way or another.
Whether in this life or the next one, we find them.
Yes.
They're on the list.
1,
3.
3. Yes. And Lyra, almost absent-mindedly, grabs your hand.
You're gonna need to roll a con save.
Yeah. That's an 18. 20.
Yeah, you're good. it would feel uncomfortable. It would feel like the feeling of like a chemical burn.
Yes.
We shouldn't stay. People will come looking for these people.
Where?
Can I take a moment and I'd like to root through this Paladin stuff, and I want to root through the other guy's stuff as well, because if it means that we find a key to a house that is now probably going to be maybe empty or a storefront that nobody's going to go to, that's at least somewhere we can hide out. But I want to rifle through this Paladin's pockets and take everything she's got.
She's got quite a few things.
I'm sure she does.
She's got some money.
Yeah.
And you can take her 30 gold.
We split it 50-50.
Okay.
And you can take, if you want, her weapon.
I absolutely do.
I will send you a message about the sword, but you'll need to identify it to know its abilities. And then you'll notice that instead of, like many paladins would carry, some javelins with them, instead something else long and sharp is shoved into this satchel.
Is it a spine?
And they are. And they still glisten. And although they are broken and snapped as though it was done without care, they have that vibrant yellow, white, black, like zebra pattern across them.
Amazing.
Lyra's like kind of limped over and is watching you.
Now I know we need to get out of here. And I know that we need to find... Lyra wants to find the other 4. And even though that is at odds at the thing that I need to do, I think there's a softness to Orellani about what Lyra needs to feel comfortable and safe. And I am going to... Just going to double check the wording on this spell.
While you're doing that, I will give you that in the nobles' pockets, the merchants' pockets, is a key to, you're correct. They have secured a space to stay in the city, and because they are here on somewhat clandestine activities, this is a small cottagey type cabin on the outskirts of the city.
Okay.
It is definitely a space that you feel like, especially if you can get there through the night, under cover of still darkness.
Okay.
There are some things that you might want to do to cover your tracks here in this room as well, though. Any evidence of yourselves and what you want to make this room look like in terms of what happened here. Do you want to leave it exactly as it is? There are no other people who's witnessed this other than who was in the room.
I know for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break every window in the room, and while the lightning is still up, I'm just going to blitz the room, essentially. It's going to, like, everything is going to be shattered. I want to get rid of any trace that it looks like that this was, like, not a freak weather pattern, but, like, that there was some magic gone horribly, horribly wrong.
Okay.
Seeing if I could pull a little information from Lyra to see if I could flavor it or turn it in a way to make it look like Meralda broke bad and broke her covenant.
Yeah, I think Lyra might, like, seeing Meralda might have sparked some memories of, like, things that Lyra might have seen that could, like, whether it's even, like, her handwriting or little things that she used to do or leave places. So I think Lyra could probably help you stage it a little bit.
Yeah, you remember that locket that she'd tapped earlier to tell someone else a warning, there was a symbol on it that you remember. And so you can scratch it into the table.
And I can duplicate it precisely.
Cool.
If I remember it. Great.
And so you can leave that there, and some other things that you can do in terms of arranging the people in the space. What else could have dropped the Paladin? You make it look as though great magic happened here, but you know what the hag's abilities are kind of like, and so you can sort of move things around to be effective for what she's capable of.
And Roz, are there any small shiny objects in this room?
You bet there are. what location, or is it with them that you're looking for something?
I'm
or is it
looking
just
through
something-
dresser drawers. I don't want to touch them.
Okay. And this would have been a ballroom type space and then converted into this meeting area. There's a couple things that you could choose. There's some really small chalices that look like they would be for sherry. There's a couple of other things along the bookshelf that you might put inside of nooks and crannies, like a thimble. There's another on one of the shelves. It looks like it's probably a young girl came through here and left behind a toy.
Okay.
And so you can see a little wooden block that's been carved into a dragon.
Ooh, cool. Okay, I'm going to take all 3 of those things.
Okay.
And I think on the armor of the Paladin, knowing that she will likely be discovered, I would like to use my claw to just etch into the metal the word consequences.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Other things that you can loot from the noble's body other than a key to where you're going.
We'll take the key first.
Yeah. And then the invitation to this meeting, which is clearly in code. But, you know, you can pick out a little bit of elements that tell you about this room, this time, this place. But it also tells you, in terms of the time, that you have moved forward days from where you thought you should have been. So you would have felt like one night in the Shadow Realm, but it was longer than that.
Okay.
Not weeks, but definitely you're out of time from when you would have expected to be.
Okay. Once we had kind of gotten everything we needed from the room, I would look at Lyra. We have a place to go, and I would like to try something once we're there, but I'm going to need some space to do that.
Try something.
Yes.
What?
Seeing the broken nature of the spine, I think I can fix it so that when we do see Arisa again, she can reattach it to herself.
Something for Eureka, yes.
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 Orellani?
Yes.
Yes.
And Lyra reaches out her hand.
I cover it with my sleeve and I take it.
Lyra closes her eyes and tries to reach out to our 4 previous companions to see whether she can still reach them.
Okay. Do you feel a slight sense of urgency to leave this place? But you sense that it's important to Lyra.
Yeah, I'm happy to. It's as if Lyra needs the stability to close her eyes and enter that space, I will keep my eyes trained on the room, but let her use my steadying presence to do so. But I'd bring down the world to let Lyra have this moment.
Roll perception.
With guidance. Okay, 15 plus 2, 17, plus 7 is a 24.
Amazing. You have the time and the space. You look out all the windows you've smashed. It's still the middle of the night. It's inky, black, blue. There is no hint yet of the sunrise.
Okay.
And you can tell it's quiet in the streets and it's quiet in the building.
Okay.
Let Lyra have the space.
And I go, we have time, but not long.
Yes. She's just trying to reach them.
It's there.
Her eyes slam open.
It's not quite the same. It's never happened, and it shouldn't be possible. For what you've done with those objects, for them to just suddenly not be present, it's not even like they died. It's like it was gone. And though it had never existed for a moment, and then they're back.
Yes. Yes. And then you hear in Anthem's voice,
But a moment.
Well, all right then.
Interestingly, inside of the space that a memory would occupy, the sand that memory would be, it's more full than it should be. There are more memories than time allows.
Oh. Lyra just mutters, "Cursed friend," to herself.
Are you satisfied?
We go.
We go.
Yes.
And we make our way through the city. I am going to use my last second level spell slot to cast Pass Without Trace on us. So essentially moving our way through the streets and using the sense of where cottages like this would be if we had found a deed or a receipt for the cottage to head to this place.
And Lyra can help you with that.
Yeah.
Moving through the city, roll stealths.
So it's a +10.
Yeah, love Pass Without Trace.
Me too.
Plus 10?
Yeah, +10 to whatever you got. Oh God, that's so much. That's so much.
37.
24.
That's nonsense.
34.
You move through the city.
I don't even know if we're in this campaign anymore.
Yeah, it's not even the movement through the night. You actually along the way, there is a stall that you take what you need for breakfast. You take wine. You take whatever you want, and no one would ever know you were there. And you arrive at this small cabin on the edge, and it's wooden. Has a bit of a creaky door, but not the way you move it. As you slide the key into the lock, and you find yourselves with a space that no one would expect to look at. And if anything, people have probably been warned to stay away from.
Okay. So I kind of let myself inside, close the door, and I take out the spine. And I look at it, and it's broken. It's been broken off of her body. Okay. Well, after we sleep,
Yes.
if I can regrow part of this, perhaps it will be enough to call her here and take us where we need to go. And give this back to her.
Yes. Safe.
As safe as we can be.
Lyra can help.
Okay. So I think we would settle down and try and take a rest.
And you would take the rest of the night to sleep, and then rise when it's comfortable for you.
Okay.
And here in the space, it's the edge of the city, the edge of this town. There are birds in the morning. It is idyllic in terms of only in the distance can you hear bells of the town, and the day would be starting.
Okay.
But here at the edge of the space, if you open up a window, it's the smell of a lush herb garden outside.
Gross.
A healthy herb garden.
Yuck.
And there are some supplies inside as well, so enough to make you comfortable.
Lyra would wake up with the dawn and would be munching on a loaf of bread.
I think Orellani is not an early riser and would languish and kind of come out of sleep when it was a time to do so, whenever that time may be, and would pick up some of the fruits and vegetables that we had taken from the previous night and hold them in her hand long enough until they rotted to the perfect amount, and then would eat them. When they were good and ripe,
Yep.
and then would take them.
When they were perfect.
When they were perfect. And that idea of nothing wasted. That this would be food that other people wouldn't eat, but that doesn't mean it's not good. So then I think I would head out into this herb garden. And how far are we away from the next,
It's not visible through the trees, but if you walked a little bit farther into them, you'd see the next establishment.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gently place the spine in the soil of this herb garden. And I'm happy to stand in the sphere, or the radius of this, and I'm gonna place my hand on the spine and I'm gonna cast Wither and Bloom. And so essentially what happens is any creatures of your choice in the area must make a Constitution saving throw. I'm going to choose myself.
Okay.
And I'm going to choose to fail it. And I am going to cast this at 3rd level. So I'm going to roll 3d6 any non-magical vegetation in a 10-foot radius of this spine will wither and die. But my sense is that energy, if this works right, will come from both me and the ground to suffuse the spine with enough of that necrotic damage. So let's take that from myself and the ground. 4, 4, and 6, that's 14 points of necrotic damage. And then it says here that one creature of your choice in the area can spend and roll an unspent hit die and regain the number of hit points equal to the roll plus your spellcasting ability modifier. So basically taking this energy from myself and using it to suffuse the spine enough to heal it so where it can be reattached to her. So that was 14 to myself.
Amazing. And you reach out as you do this, letting her know in any way that you can that you do this for her.
It would be enough of an act of like rotting and enough of an act of a disruption of a perfectly normal plant life cycle that I think she would get the message.
And Lyra, you come to watch?
Lyra would come to watch. I think she'd probably stand a little too close initially, and then as the circle of like withering moved out, Lyra would kind of jump back a little bit.
I think like from Orellani's hand, the spores would circle down the spine, suffuse the ground, and you would watch the soil just go black and yellow, and it would suffuse out from the spine, and you would just have to like kind of move back really quickly.
And at first it seems like nothing happens. But then the spine seems to shake a little bit. And you watch as the more that it vibrates, the more that the ground that you've planted it in starts to fall away. Mm. And there's this beautiful, supple, muscular back underneath the ground that now this spine juts out of. And you watch as she slowly starts to come up out of the ground.
I like reach out my hand to help her up.
She takes your hand. Roll a d4.
I love this relationship. That's just 1.
You keep rolling the ones on it, just enough to sting.
It stings so good.
She takes your hand, and just this naked form of her. Hot. Just the ground is not like loose ground anymore. It's soaked with the colors you associate her with. And she stands and it dries across her. It starts to just crumple down, and so she has just like birthed from the soil. Mm. And you watch as she like shakes the one shoulder that has the spine, and then she shakes the other one. And she leans down and she just cracks her back, and more of them start to burst out from her. Mm. And she just explodes with these poisonous spines across her. And it suits her as she suddenly looks more confident and capable and herself, the way you know her. There is no more of this ash cloak that she hides under. She's missing some, though. Mm-hmm. It's not full, and the ones that are new, it stings a little and it rubs, and she cracks. Thank you.
Of course.
It's as much the return as it is the message to the Surge. They are planted around the world, you know.
I'll find them.
False trees. In Lantier. To take elves down.
Lantier, she said?
Yes, you would know it as like a country that is a bit of an island shape near Orellana, off the coast. Many elves live there. They are often druids, so you would be familiar with them. They resist some of the Zurge's progress. So I can understand. And he just wants to poison them with me. But they don't need to rot. Yet. All of them. Defiled.
We'll start there.
We'll start there.
Did you see? A favor first.
Oh,
For Lyra.
a favor.
You can ask.
You can ask.
Something strange happened. Lyra's connection to our previous traveling compatriots
Yes.
was gone, and then back with more memory than time should allow.
All of the threads. You've all been pulled into it, woven into it by the fates.
What?
It's a secret that I can also not tell you. The more you know, the more the gods know.
Okay.
They were given a secret from the executioner of the god of love.
Do we know if... So Paladin works for Zerg, and they want to kill Mires. But do we know if Mires is dead yet?
She's not dead.
Okay.
Unclear. Hiding? Captive?
Right.
I don't ask yet.
I understand. Can you take us to them?
To the spine. It's close to them.
That is good enough.
You'll be just behind, I think. But we are close.
Yes. Two in one.
Then we'll run fast.
And you see the hag also has turned from our path, Orellani. A green hag who defies me?
She's on the list.
3.
I cannot spend all this time with you all the time. But this has been nice.
Then I will wait till next time.
You watch as she sort of takes a couple steps and she moves her hands up her body as she just kind of smears some of the mud in with her stickiness, and she like pulls a hand away and it starts to stick together, but then she pulls it forward, and the more she pulls it, it's almost like she's making like a taffy out of this like stickiness. And she pulls it into a little ball, and then she rolls it up really, really, really tight. And then she passes it to you.
I take it.
Call me.
Anytime.
If you eat it, ingest it, you will feign death, and I will be there.
Hot.
Safe.
I don't think we want to be safe anymore, ever again.
Safe is too easy.
It got a foolish goddess captured and defiled and broken. Now, even though we move through shadows again, it is not to hide. It is to be secret and
wait. And to wait.
I take you to the next spine. If you're ready to go,
We are.
she moves you through, again, shadows, movement, corridors, and you arrive to where she can let you out of the Shadow Realm again in a blink across the world.
Cool.
To land here, to a land of elves. Where, in the distance, you watch an airship leave.
Oh, they're on that airship,
A
aren't they?
dirigible flies away. And you are just behind them. And we are in pursuit of the other heroes who have named themselves, or come to be named, the Slayers of Convenience.
The Slayers of Convenience, okay.
And you'll be able to find evidence of them here as they are but hours ahead of you through the sky.
Not for long.
Not for long.
Not for long.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
And we come to the end of our episode!
Yay!
Holy moly!
So fun!
Oh my gosh! On our way out, let's say a little bit from each of you, where you're from again, where we can find you next, what's airing, what's coming up, Em, what's going on with Blackwater?
Hello everyone, my name is Em. I am the creative director and one of the cast members over at Blackwater D&D. You can find us every Monday night on Twitch at twitch.tv/Blackwater D&D with our main 5e campaign. We have a bunch of stuff on our YouTube page. Something very exciting right now is that our podcast series, God Killer, is up on Patreon, so you can head on over there. The first 3 episodes are up there at our free tier for free, and then if you like it, you can subscribe and get the rest of the other 8 episodes. It's an 11-episode series. It's been nominated at the Cusco Web Fest and the LA Web Fest, so we're very, very proud of it. This has been an absolute blast. I always love coming back with this sweet, yucky baby. So thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to play again. Thank you.
Yay! Thank you for bringing Orellani back to the table.
I love her.
Jess!
Yeah, hey, I'm still Jess. And yeah, you can come see me play with Blackwater as well. And I don't think I have anything else to plug. So
that's okay.
That's that. That's me.
Next time on Altero, Eat, Slay, Love, we will be back with what's going on that airship in episode 27. And then in the near future, we'll collide some players together.
Yes.
Wow. Amazing. I can't wait to find out what happens when everyone rolls those dice. And let me know what's going on in your games. What you're doing with either guest players or exciting adventures, relationships with gods.
Hot.
Oh my. When you roll the dice, you make the magic happen. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.